Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Hello my friends, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with a figure that I have wanted to make for a long time. Technically I wanted to make her for years, but was just waiting for the right base to come out. And but then, like, when I finally did get it, my printer was down, so I actually got about halfway through doing it before I had to stop and wait for my printer to get fixed. But now that the 3D printer is finally working again, I was able to make her parts, and now we can get our Princess Sally figure. Okay, so full disclosure, my inspiration for making the Sally figure at this particular instance was when Pink GameCube made her own, using a 3D printed head that I sent her. When Pink GameCube made it, she kind of amalgamated her favorite variants of Sally, which included some looks from the post-Super Genesis and pre-Super Genesis looks to create that one. So I figured that I would amalgamate my favorite elements of Princess Sally. So yes, I am still using the model that was created by Elysis Knight because, you know, the official Princess Sally model is always going to feel more authentic to me. But I also decided that I would take some design inspirations from the artwork of Stephen Butler. He was kind of doing the artwork in the comic around the time that the art design was changing to be more like the modernized look of Sonic Adventure, where everyone was a little bit taller, a little bit leaner. You know, like, so yeah, it's Princess Sally at her peak sexiness, I want to say. And here's an interesting thing in thinking about obsessing over this figure for the past several weeks, waiting for my printer to be made. I was wondering, why do I want this Sally figure so bad? What is it about her that I love so much? And then I realized the answer's kind of been staring at me in the face. She is a red-headed tan tomboy that, like, before you even get into any of the furry or exhibitionist stuff, like, she's basically ticking all of your ideal nerd fetish boxes. So, yeah, like, I never stood a chance. She's pretty much been scientifically engineered to appeal to me specifically. Okay, so enough jokes. Let's get to actually making the toy. The base figure is this Rouge the Bat that I got off of eBay. You may remember her from an unboxing where I managed to find a set that I was able to get for $20, which included a Rouge the Bat and a few other miscellaneous things. And despite missing her wings, I wouldn't need those anyway, the Rouge figure was in pretty good condition. And unlike some of the others, she's a figure that can actually be dismantled down to all of her joints. So, like, you can separate the bicep part of her arms and her hips from the torso, so you can work on them separately and make sure they're painted a little better. So, you know, that's all well and good. That works out great for me. Alright, so let's get into the first part, the sculpting. Alright, so let's start with Rouge the Bat's torso. And just to prove that this video is not made for kids, I'm going to be talking about breasts for a little bit. Rouge the Bat and Sally, they're actually not that different in terms of raw size, depending on which artist is drawing them. But one very distinct thing about Rouge is that she has this heart-shaped top that pushes everything up and in to make a very nice, appealing cleavage. The thing is, Sally's not wearing a top like this. She's going with the all-natural look. So that means that I had to remove Rouge's pleasing cleavage and sculpt on a new set, which, you know, it's kind of just has the naturals hanging the way that naturals do. Yeah, they're a bit firmer and perkier than average, but, you know, this is Princess Sally. She is firmer and perkier than average. And I'm pretty sure that's about as much as I can describe without risking this video get demonetized. So, yeah, let's just show this little side view, which shows the part of her back that I sculpted over after cutting off the hinges for her wings and making her tail. So that was the only part that needed extensive sculpting here, so everything else was just a repaint. If you look at the forearms, you'll note that I also removed the glove cuffs from Rouge the Bat's forearms. Funnily enough, this actually means that her elbows have a deeper bend now than it did when they were originally the Rouge figure. I feel like Jakks Pacific needed to do something about those glove cuff sculpts to make it so that the elbows could bend a little deeper. Like, I know that they're shaped like they are in the game model, but, you know, the game model isn't a solid object. It can clip through itself or be animated to move. Like, you should have, like, done a little pinching where the elbow could bend so you could get a deeper bend there, Jakks. I mean, that's like action figure sculpting 101. Then I decided that I would keep Rouge's boots, even though they are taller than Sally's boots normally are. I think they still fit within the fudge factor, and plus I've, you know, decided to intentionally go with the slightly sexier model here, so I figured may as well go full on with those knee-high boots. She also has a vest which I made out of electrical tape. Useful stuff this electrical tape is turning out to be. I found that it even holds the paint, like, really well. This electrical tape holds onto this, Vallejo acrylic paint really well, especially if you make sure to get a sealant on top of it. Like it's very difficult to get the paint to scrape off even if you try. So that was the reassembly of her torso, and the figure kind of stayed in this state for a really long time because I needed to get the printer fixed. Well, my cousin was able to lend me one of his own, and although I wasn't able to get it to work, I was able to get the Z-stop switch off of it, and it was compatible with mine. So I used his Z-stop switch to fix my printer, and the first thing I made was this head. Yep, it is the classic Alesis Knight model, which, of course, my friend Corey modified to make, you know, printable. So, you know, let's give him credit where it's due. And I was really happy that the cheek tufts came out. I was so terrified that those things would, like, snap off, but they came out perfectly. And I did do a tiny bit of sculpting. I put in her eyelashes, her eyelids. I wanted to give her a little bit more of a sultry look, you know, because if I'm going with the bustier, sexier version of Sally based on Stephen Butler's art, I may as well also make sure her expression matches, right? So that was Sally's, Sally's face. Her boots also come from the Alesis Knight model. I did have to do a little bit of sculpting for a part that didn't come out properly, but it's all good. And, then all that was left was the reassembly. So, here we go! Princess Sally! Yes, I cannot describe how happy I am to finally have this figure. Like, I know I did have a Jazzware scaled version of her, but I wanted this version ever since I made the original cartoon, the Saturday morning variant, and the post-Super Genesis Wave variant in Jakks Pacific scale. So, like, it felt weird to me that I had the beginning and the end, but the middle part I didn't have in the scale. So now I do, and I now have all 3 versions of Princess Sally in the same scale to stand side by side. And I'm so happy about that. Which is your favorite variant? I'm actually interested to know. Let me know in the comments below. Let's get some engagement on this. And also, I do know, technically speaking, there are more Sally variants. I mean, like, for classic Sally, you can have her, her pink fur with the black hair, or that one time when she was blonde. Or for modern Sally, there's still her long-haired phase, or like the version of her from the Source of All issue where, you know, she wasn't wearing her shoes. I know a lot of people might be interested in that one. Ha ha ha. You know who you are. And yeah, I guess if I go any further on this tangent, we might just get into even more topics that I probably shouldn't be discussing on this platform. So we're gonna cut it off here. Thank you all for watching. This is Wake Angel 2001 signing off.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic the Hedgehog. Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001. Because between you and me, they're way past cool.